we're good.
Okay, so let's roll it.
Okay, we ready to roll? All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is the Monday, December 7, 2020 Technical Advisory Committee to the MPO. We're here in Dade City, again, working through WebEx. Appreciate those that are physically able to attend and those that are virtually online. It's my understanding we only have an hour today, so we're going to try to move through this agenda due to another meeting coming up at 2 o'clock, I believe, right, Tania?
Yeah.
And with these meetings being virtual, particularly when we get to the action items, we'll have the item presented, and then we will ask for the TAC board members to identify themselves and with their vote. With that, we'll go ahead and I think, we want to do introductions. Who do we all have online? I think we're seeing their names. Is everyone that's attending all virtually showing up here on the screen?
We're required to do a roll call, right?
Okay, yeah, sorry, we'll do a roll call. Thank you, Tania.
There we go. All right, can everyone hear me? Hi.
Yep.
Tania Gorman, Pasco MPO. Chris Deontes.
Chris Deontes here.
Sorry, I always say that one. Sorry, Chris. Brian Holmes.
No.
Debbie Bulldog. Jensen Hackett. He's here, okay. CLC Fine. Here. Alrighty. I think that's all I have. And then we can introduce ourselves. And Casey Kersey and Channing Bickford.
Hi, it's Casey. I'm on. Thank you with AECOM. Casey Kersey with AECOM.
Yes. And Channing Bickford. Okay.
Okay, physically we have Todd, Melanie, and Kurt here for the record. We'll start off. I don't know if we have anyone from the public online virtually. This section of the agenda is for public comment. With anyone has the opportunity from the public to present or comment. I don't know if we've seen anybody online from the public. Okay, unless with that being said, we'll close that item, move on to the approval of the meeting minutes. This are for the last TAC meeting on November 9, 2020.
We have to vote by consensus because we don't have a quorum.
Okay, so Tania will vote for consensus and we'll vote here plus some folks that are online. We'll ask them to vote as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we've had a motion to approve minutes of the November 9, 2020.
Seconded, Kurt Scheibel.
Okay, it's been seconded. Thank you. We'll just start with the TAC voting members. If you would please identify yourself by your name and if you're in approval.
Melanie Romagnoli, aye.
Kurt Scheibel, aye.
Todd Vandenberg, aye. Do we have anybody else online that's a voting member?
Chris Deontes, aye.
Okay, thank you, Chris. I believe that's probably it, right? Okay, sounds like the minutes been approved unanimously. Thank you. Do we have any report on the November 12th MPO board actions from staff?
The November 12th meeting was canceled, unfortunately, so there's no action, there's no report.
Thank you, Tania. Moving on to the action items. The first item we have is AECOM Vision Zero Phase 2.
It'll be done by Ms. Tina Russo, our active transportation planner.
Welcome, Tina.
Is that on? Yes. Okay.
We're good? Good afternoon, Tina Russo, Active Transportation Planner, Pasco MPO. We're asking for approval of the phase 2 of our Vision Zero. I'll give you a little bit of our update or a review of the phase 1. which happened, we finished up this past year, but kind of changed a little bit. I came in about February for phase one, and because of COVID, we had to change it up a little bit, but we was able to get a great amount of video and some research done in phase one. So the next phase will be that engagement and education component using what we were able to get in phase one. We did have 2 videos come out of that phase one. We were going to show them today, but I can send them to you just due to time restraints today. Any questions? Casey and Channing both are consultants. They're online if you have any questions, or if I can answer any questions about phase 2, the recommendation.
Would you like to tell them about the awards that we won?
Yeah, I was trying to cut it short, but at the Gulf Safe Street Summit back in November, Casey and Channing did a presentation, and there was like 20 plus presentations that were voted on and submitted, and Pasco and their presentation was actually the top score of all those presentations. So we were really excited about that because it was about engaging folks, getting out and documenting what we saw so we could proceed with phase 2 then in the best way to educate and engage the folks.
Well, congratulations, Casey, Channing, Tina, for that award.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you.
Is there any questions or comments on this action item? Hearing none, I'll ask for a recommendation to approve the AECOM Vision Zero Phase 2 for engagement and education for $49,957.66.
I move to, consent on the proposal. Kurt Scheibel.
Melanie Romagnoli, second.
Thank you. We have
Thank
a
you.
motion and a second. Now we'll call for voting members to identify who they are and their vote, please.
Melanie Romagnoli, aye.
Kurt Scheibel, aye.
Todd Vandenberg, aye.
Christine Huntis, aye.
Okay, thank you. That item is approved unanimously. And yeah, if we could just have that video, we'd like to see it, if that could be shared
That was what I was
electronically.
getting ready to say too, is that, once the videos are completed, if you would send them to us as well so we can share them on our website as well as our Facebook.
And Tina, I'll
Thank
help
you.
everyone with that and make sure we've got links for Todd and everyone on the TAC. Just let me know who, and there'll be 2 links there for you. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Casey. The second item is also an AECOM item. Action item B, support for the UPWP, including in-house staff and minor update. Who will be presenting on this?
That's me.
Okay, thank you, Tina.
As you all know, the Pasco MPO has had some staff turnover and some staff challenges. And at this time, we are going through a rebirthing phase, and we need some assistance in that growth process. And we've asked AECOM to assist us with some tasks and update our PPP in accordance with our UPWP. And at this time, we're asking the TAC to approve by consensus our $48,892 4-cent scope with AECOM. It'll be a 6-month scope, and we hopefully at that point we'll have staff to assist us in our planning, and we can move forward.
Okay, so it's 6 months. I assume y'all started the procurement
Right.
process for a new staff member.
Right, we are in search of a director. We have interviewed for principal and senior. So as you know, Mandy has retired. So we are on the path. But right now it's the holidays. We have COVID and everything. So it will be a slow trend towards getting the staff. So
Just one comment.
Yes.
On your minor thing to the PPP. We're right in the middle of our trainer review, and they're really looking at how are you reaching out to the LEP community through Title VI. And I'm going to have to probably present this to them because you guys are part of us too. So just make sure that we're reaching out they're really focusing on the LEP community. So LEP stands for Language English Proficiency. The good news is we dropped out one demographic. We don't have to provide it in Vietnamese anymore. They went back underneath the 1,000 limit. But Spanish, they're really looking at on the efforts on that. So you might want to make sure that I have to redo the Title VI to include more LEP in there. Just give you a heads up.
Thank you.
We can certainly help on that. Thanks, Kurt.
With the updates on these, will we be able to, and I say we as a county, be able to ensure that these meet the model that you're creating meets the requirements of the majority of the federal funding opportunities that might be available to both the MPO, the county, and something that maybe the communities can also piggyback off of when we go to update our outreach requirements for all the federal funding that we apply for? Do you know? There's a provision in most of the grants that require that your PPP include a variety of stuff, and one of it is the LEP, as well as, you know, what type of communications plans are you guys going to get together, and how do you plan on talking about, like, if somebody has a complaint that they've not been able to receive the information appropriately, what's the complaint process? Is that going to be included in the PPP?
So the biggest part of the minor update, why we're doing this, and Casey can also discuss this too and put input, is with COVID going on, we've changed the standard of how we're communicating. I mean, right now we're doing 5 for quorum because of our bylaws and just a hybrid virtual format and getting the information out. So we wanted to ensure that we were updating the PPP to go in accordance with that and do a minor update and then do a larger update, of course, when we start the LRTP process at the end of next year. So we are looking at the platform and how we're reaching everyone right now because it has changed so dramatically. So that is a huge part of it. And Casey can also add to that as well.
Hi, it's Casey Kersey with AECOM. And so the public participation plan, I'll be happy to coordinate with anyone who's interested in what goes in one of those. And as you said, the MPO has to have an adopted public participation plan in order to receive federal funding, as you were mentioning. Now, in terms of Title VI and complaints, or in terms of outreach and feeling that somebody's tried to outreach and they weren't responded to, we can talk about that after, because what the PPP sets out is that the county will respond. How the county responds is what we need to talk about, as you're saying now. And the public participation plan says that we will. It doesn't get into the details of how a county or its partners might respond to that. But all of us need to know no matter what. And let's talk about it during that minor update. Absolutely. And then, Kurt, to your note, we always do is the most updated demographics that we can do, and then we coordinate with whoever's done your TDP. In your case, it was Tyndale Oliver on that, because the TDP doesn't have the demographic requirement. You do it as part of a transit agency, so we do coordinate with them on all the demographic maps that we put into the public participation plan.
Yeah, it's more of that their FTA is now focusing more on that, just to give you a heads up.
Yep. Thank you very much. We'll love input. Love it. If you're offering, I am up to coordinating. So thank you very much.
Tina, is this a not to exceed 6 months, or if y'all hire someone within a month or two, this would still remain in place? Do we know?
Right. Not to exceed 6 months.
Okay. Thank you. Well, I think it makes great sense to have Casey and her team with their knowledge of Pasco County and their abilities as a company to take on that responsibility. So unless there's any other comments, we see the recommendation by staff where approve AECOM and support for the UPWP, including L staff minor update to the PPP for $48,892.04.
I move to approve as presented by staff.
I seconded Kurt Scheibel.
Thank you. We've had a motion and a second to approve as presented. Board members, if you give your name and recommendation.
Kurt Scheibel, aye.
Melanie Romagnoli, aye.
Todd Vandenberg, aye.
Christine Huntus, aye.
Item is approved unanimously.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Casey.
Thank you.
Last action item we have is Federal Transit Administration, Public Transportation Safety Performance Targets for 2020.
And that would be me.
All right, Mr. Kurt.
As required underneath the new federal rules, underneath the FAST Act, PCVT had to come up with safety measures that had to be reported to the MPO. Part of that is developing what they are, and then we have to put it into a public transportation agency safety plan, or PTASP. I call it the ASP, just to make it easier to say. What we did is we took our current numbers, and we also coordinated with the Florida, just a second, with the Florida DOT Vision Zero requirements, and came up with our safety events and safety totals based on the numbers as required underneath the rulemaking, the CFR part 49 CFR 673. This actually has to go to the Board of County Commissioners to sign off on it as required by the law. The law specifically says it has to be the Board of Directors or the governing board, which is the BCC. And but this here is that y'all know what they are, and that we've coordinated with the MPO if we're required to, and moving forward. You have a little performance FDOT type of thing. There's also a lot of information. If you need more, I'm willing to answer any questions about it. But we have to have this as required to receive funding from the federal government. On that, I'll take any questions at this time.
When does this go to the BCC?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay.
I had to get it tomorrow, so because it's the only one in December, and I have to have it in place by the 30th of this year.
Okay, very important. And either anyone here on the board or anyone virtually have any comments or questions for Kurt on this item?
Sure, real quick, Robert Borski from Pasco County Schools. How you guys doing?
Welcome.
Real quick, Kurt, on the FTA, are we participating or working with the Rural Transportation Assistance Program to help develop some of these safety programs?
Unfortunately, it has to be done with internal according to the MAP 21. While I reference RTAP all the time, these are based off of our current actual requirements.
Gotcha.
And with the procedures, we came up with very specific goals.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, I'll call for a motion.
I believe I have to recuse myself because this is my item.
So we will need.
Move to approve.
We have a motion to approve.
Second, Robert Borski.
Thank you. So we've had a motion to approve and seconded. We'll start with the board members voting by indication of their name. Thank you.
Melanie Romagnoli, aye.
Todd Vandenberg, aye.
Robert Borski, aye.
Christina Tesai.
Thank you very much. Motion passes unanimously. Okay, we're up to the regional LRTP status update. Tania, is that you?
Yes, it is. I just wanted to give a brief overview of what's been going on regionally with the MPOs. And so the individual MPOs and TPOs created a long-range transportation plan for their counties. The Regional Long-Range Transportation Plan is a work product of the Chairs Coordinating Committee. The Tampa Bay Chairs Coordinating Committee is the longest-standing regional transportation planning compact among the MPOs and in the state of Florida, and includes Hernando, Citrus, Hillsborough, Pasco, Pinellas, Polk, and Sarasota, Manatee counties. The group also includes advisors from the Tampa Bay Area Regional Transit Authority, the Florida Department of Transportation, the Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council, and the Pinellas Council Transit Authority, and the Hillsborough Area Regional Transit, which is HART. CCC prepares plan studies and priorities for regionally significant projects, reviews the impact of significant land use decisions, shares current travel data and trends, and adopts regional transportation plans and priorities for highways, public transportations, and multi-use trail improvements. The regional LRTP documents includes information about a regional transit vision, regional trail vision, each MPO and TPO major projects of regional significance. Tampa Bay's place has a mega region and a list of projects that are in progress or planned for the future. And so I just wanted to highlight Pasco's regional projects that were placed in the regional LRTP. And as we all know, for time's sake, I'll just, kind of review all of them. The SR 52 widening from US 41 to Bellamy Brothers Boulevard, as we all know, that's currently going on. We have SR 52 from Clinton Avenue to US 98. We have US 41 and 54 intersection, which is currently, it's underway. We have the cost feasibility study going on. We will have some more information probably in the spring of exactly what routes they're gonna use and what the funding is. And we have I-75 overpass road interchange. Of course, we have the diverging diamond as we saw the constructions going again. We have US 301 widening from Cossack Road to 56. And we have several trail projects. We have Sun Trail overpass at State Road 54 with Lacucci State Trail Extension, Orange Belt Trail, and we have Suncoast Parkway 2. So we have lots of regional projects going on right now. And this project with the Regional Long Range Transportation Plan was we came together as all the MPOs to get this done and have a great work product. So we just wanted to bring that to the TAC as just an informational item so you can see what we're doing.
What are they doing with Lacucci Trail?
Tina, do you want to provide that update? She's our trail lady.
That question.
She's our active transportation planner. So Tina is our guru.
Actually just talked to Sam. They did the route study and they're confirming that ACOM's actually the consultant that's supposed to move forward with construction. A lot of it's the rail line, I believe, but they're still working out a lot of details, especially at this end up to that north piece all the way up to Withlacoochee and stuff. There was a route study. They're just working out some tight spots. I'm supposed to get an update from Sam to actually tomorrow on that project as well.
That's the connection from the Hardy Trail up?
Correct.
All right. Yay. I get questions on that weekly.
Yeah, and I know he's waiting on ACOM to get some final details worked out for it, but I believe he's going to give one to the BPAC tomorrow. Anything new, I'll send out to you guys if there's anything new on that route study and the construction. So that's where we're at on that project.
Is BPAC in Dade City or is it in Newport Richie tomorrow?
Tomorrow. It's at Newport Richie, and you can do it virtually.
Okay, I've got commission at the same time. That's why I'm asking. I'm supposed to present.
Yeah, and I can just send that all of our projects he's doing an update on tomorrow, including the overpass at 54 for Suncoast. And we're getting ready to really move forward very strongly with Orange Belt, including that first segment as well. So,
all right, we can talk offline if you don't mind.
Thank you, Tina. Has the COVID impacted any of our projects schedule-wise? Do you know? I imagine there's some impact, or is that too early to tell yet?
We're probably going to do in January when we do. We're going to do a tentative work program presentation, and then we'll probably do a complete overview for you guys, and then we'll give you a full detail about the funding and what was impacted, because we don't want to go too soon.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know. We'll do a complete tentative work program presentation for you.
Okay. Thank you for that presentation, Tania. Is there any comments from anybody on this item? Okay, do we have any CMP issues we're discussing today?
During the CAC, I think they talked about the divergent diamond area and the congestion it's causing there. Is that correct? It was hard to hear them. one of the things I'm noticing is we really need to look at that area because we've had my buses, we've had a lot of a large increase in rear end collisions in that area. And it's not a small amount. It's like one a week, if not more. When is that actually presented to be completed? I know Jensen was talking about that they're behind and that they were talking about finding them if they were behind as per the contract. Do we know exactly when they are going to be done? Because I know the date has been pushed back. At least that's what if I understood Jensen correctly during the CAC.
I think he said April of 2021, but don't quote me on that. Jensen's on the line. I think he can answer for us.
I just want to check and make sure. Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Okay, I'm on my phone. That's why I was just wondering. So the original date of the construction to be completed was April of 21. That currently is set at August of 21. That is what the contractor has told us. We, in the contracted plans, there are workarounds to get them to complete on time just due to those specific fines that come out. Any of the fines can be levied, which I think is the 9,000 or so a day. That can be levied as soon as April because that was their original contracted date to be completed, which was 800 days from the beginning of the project. So we have talked about this with the secretary as well. So he is definitely aware of this problem, Kirk, and we are trying to do everything that we can to get this as close to on schedule as we possibly can with the contractor. So I will take your concern of the rear end collisions as well with the buses and talk to the secretary about that.
Yes, just to give you a heads up, we had to already alter our route once to help with the safety. If there's any way we can get some type of a, whatever those flashy signs are on the side of the road to say, hey, be aware of start stopping traffic and rear end collisions or something like that. I would say that every time our buses go through there is some type of collision every day, every hour. So you may want to take a look at that and see if there's, if one, the information I'm getting back is correct, and two, is there something we can do, if nothing else, a minimum of a sign that says, beware of stop and go traffic and rear end collisions.
Yeah, and that's a good observation, Kurt. I'm working on, as well as it has to do with the lighting that's there right now because they have the temporary lighting that's at the specific intersection off ramps. The contractor has said that the lighting will come back on soon, but I'm trying to work and see if we can get the lighting, at least on the mainline corridor, up quicker because the LED poles are there and up right now. So that's something that I'll work on too, to see if there's any way we can get the lighting quicker, and to see if there's any temporary signage that we can put in that area that can at least kind of quell some of those issues that are coming up with, especially the rear end collisions approaching both of the signals there.
Yeah, just so you know, most of the accidents are occurring from 10 to about 1, and then again from about 3:34 to 7. So if that helps you with anything, that's when ours have been happening. And like I said, we're about to the point of avoiding that intersection altogether and adding time to our routes because it's that bad, especially now with the holiday season in the outlet mall and all the other traffic that goes in there. But just wanted to make sure you're aware of it, Jensen, and let the TAC here know also about what's going on for congestion management.
Thank you for bringing that to everyone's attention. Anything else on CMP? Any members or anyone virtually online? Okay, any PCPT updates today?
Well, good news is we're finally getting a new paratransit software system. It's on the board tomorrow, and knock on wood, there's no problems going through with that. If everything goes well, we'll have it up and running by, my goal is we have to have it done by March 31st. My goal is February 1st, so I have a whole month and a half to kind of like run parallel to make sure it's working right and moving forward from there. The bad news is our budget projections are grim at best. And they're getting grimmer. Next year will be, that is going to be tight, and the year after that's going to even be worse. So, and then when you look at the 5-year and the plans that we're being told, we're going to have some we're going to have some budget problems if the plan goes forward. And y'all know about plans. I mean, last year we would have said there's no problem, and then we have COVID. So we'll see how the planning goes from that. We are working on getting and redo our comprehensive operational analysis, going out for bid. Hopefully I'll have that to purchasing by the end of the year to have it expedited to get through the process as quickly as possible. And then we'll be working on new buses and new routes. And then we're right in the middle of a triennial review. So busy.
Going on. Thank you. Okay. Well, we'll open up this next section for any TAC membership discussion. Anyone can participate in this. I'll start off, as Kurt did. I'd like to just share a few items that are in the process of being worked at or looked at with Zephyr Hills. I had shot an email to Pasco County. I guess the county is updating their right-of-way preservation table, which I took a look at and commented on a few roadway segments on this. And one of the things I pointed out was that in our involvement with the preparation of the Zephyr Hills Industrial Corridor, which includes Chansey Road from like 301 up to Pasco County Road 54, we've tentatively talked about the idea of how we're going to deal with large trucks getting on and off Chansey Road due to the amount of traffic, Tania, that you already know that's on Chansey Road, correct? As development continues and roadways continue to open up, there'll be even much more. So I just suggested, in looking at the right-of-way preservation, that we probably meet as a staff, and I don't know if that's something we can just look at staff or perhaps bring in someone like AECOM to help us look at that. But we feel like conceptually there could be some strategic locations where we could perhaps look at the possibility of a frontage road at strategic locations to help the trucks in the industrial corridor around the airport there to get in and off Chansey Road to just make it a much safer condition. So I don't have the staff person's name who's trying to put up the meeting, but I didn't bring that email with me, but we're looking into that, and I wanted to share that with the group. And we can have further discussions when we do get together. Today, I know we talked about the SIGP for Island and Fort King with Simons Road, and I'm probably going to assign that to Audrey with my staff to be working on that, and probably coordinating with you to with that application process, I guess. And we've talked with Jensen a little bit about that as well. State Road 56, of course, that's a legislative appropriation to extend State Road 56 to the east of 301. Heard from Brian Schroyer lately. We're still waiting to hear. We've seen conceptual alignments of that corridor, and I believe the next step is there's supposed to be a meeting with city folk, county folk, and the DOT folk and their consultants that are reviewing this realignment study. So we're anxious to be a part of that process and to have further discussion on that. So that's in the works. I'm also meeting with PIA this week with Tampa DOT to talk about, of course, a project that's been on the MPO for a long time, the 301. Work on the revised PD&E for 301 through Zephyr Hills. I guess with COVID, the project stopped for a while, but now my understanding is from PIA that the surveying has ramped up again, and we're going to have some discussions and updates on that to see where we're at and discuss some next steps and timetables. So just a little FYI. See a lot of development there off Morris Bridge and 56. We're really hoping, I brought this up before, we can get a right-hand turn lane from Morris Bridge onto State Road 56. I hope with all the development that's occurring there that happens, because the ruts are there, people are churning there anyway. So hopefully that comes into play. The other thing I'll mention, my last item, I know we're short on time today. There's some residential developments, Tania, on Chansey Road that are being done in the county. this is more of a planner question, and I can get with Nectarios, I guess, or whomever, but we haven't, city hasn't seen the development plans, to my knowledge, on those developments. And one of the issues is pedestrian amenities, and we have some development that's occurring on Chancey Road as well, and we're looking at the idea of long-term having a multi-purpose trail on the south side of Chancey Road that would like butt up to, Hidden Rivers, those county projects, and potential future outdoor recreational area where the mining operation is there. So my question was, being that we haven't seen those plans, it'd be great if those county projects were also looking at multi-purpose trail on the south side there from 39 to 301. So I don't know, is that something you could pass on to the right people, or? Okay, thank you. That's all that I had. And for the record, Venkat has joined us today for the minutes as well. Anybody else have anything?
Yeah, one of the things that Dade City would like to do is to set dates with transportation planning, as well as potentially road and bridge, and with the long-range planning staff and current planning staff, to talk about what's happening over here with regards to county-owned roads. And this kind of ties back into what Todd was talking about with the Vision Road Network update. We are experiencing exponential growth in annexations, where I think we're on our 9th or 10th one this year. And they are primarily residential developments of 300 units and more. And majority of them do come out onto county-owned and operated facilities within our joint planning area agreement and our utility service area agreement. And specifically, we've got more happening up off of Adair Road and Thomas Jefferson, which is currently dirt, and 25 feet right away. We've got to figure something out if we're going to have 1,000+ cars coming out. Every time we did the transportation analysis, it comes up no impact. There's going to be an impact. As well as with the 52 realignment, with some of the updates. And I understand Brian is communicating with DOT on that, but we've had concern come up with some of our board members that the roundabout's not going to happen at Meridian and 21st. So that's some of the questions. We're in the understanding that's part of that, the Clinton 52 realignment, that is looped into that project. So that's something I need to speak with Jensen offline. But we definitely need to have probably more regular meetings with Zephyr Hills, and we've been talking about it for the past year, but we haven't done it.
Yes.
So, and going back to the trails, there's a lot of trail network items that we would definitely want to get connected into, Tina. So as you're doing your stuff, we're requiring 8-foot multi-use lanes or separated from road traffic in any of our PDs. So any of our planned developments, we are requiring that as extra park space amenities for the trail network. That's it.
Thank you. Thanks, Melanie. Are there any other comments or input from?
So we're having a problem getting quorum to take action in TAC. We have about 26 members between the alternates and the members in TAC, and getting 5 of us here today was a huge undertaking. And so I'm just trying to put it to the body of what we can do to solve the problem, because this is a huge problem. I understand, COVID has thrown a slight monkey wrench into some of this, but we have to start making quorum so we can actually vote on these items. And I don't know what we can do to make sure that we have voting members. We could make it more centrally located, but then we don't have the option of having it recorded. And the reason why it's recorded is so that people can watch it if they aren't able to make the meeting, like our citizens and so forth. So I just want to put it to the body of how do we solve this problem of making quorum? Do we have rotations? Do we try to I know next time it's over in Newport Richey, so we will, maybe those that are on that side can attend. I don't know. So I'm just putting it out there. Kat?
I just want to make a comment on that regarding that. Would you mind email everybody saying how many number of meetings they attended in person or virtual for all the members for the last 9 months? And to see, so you may need to step up to whoever they're reporting it to see what is the issue for not able to attend.
I would have to go way back. I don't think I have that information, but I probably could. I would hope I wouldn't have to go back and count.
Yeah.
We're all adults.
I don't think that, my understanding, if I'm here every time I listen to the BCC meeting for hybrid virtual, it's the virtual part is for people participating outside of the committee itself. The committee itself has to be here. That's what my understanding is. And if they are part of the committee, then it's their obligation to be here. That's part of their job duties. And that's where it needs to be probably addressed at. The people that are not here need to be there, they have to be here. And if we have to ask their supervisor to submit somebody new, then we have to ask their supervisor to submit somebody new. But it is required for all committee members of the committee. The hybrid part of it is not for them. They have to be in place. So if we have to ask the question to them of, well, are you going to be part of it, or do we need to ask for somebody to be your replacement? That's the question to ask. I think that's the best way to move forward, and it's giving them the option, but you are required to be here. Now, there's always the one time where you've got, hey, look, I got an appointment or something, I would be out of town, vacation, whatever, but these things are already set up for the next year. I've missed one, I think, once a year just because of the conflict. Every one of us has conflict, but minimize your conflicts. And if you have to send somebody as an alternate, send somebody as an alternate.
The hybrid virtual format is that the TAC bylaws is that our quorum is 5. So due to COVID, we can't have more than 10 in the room. So we need 5 physically present.
Well, I would disagree with the 10 in the room because I've been at BCC meetings where there's been more than 10 in the room.
I don't know what BCC does, but I know we should have 5 and we should have no more than 10 in the room. I can't speak for BLCC.
So
that's how it was explained to me.
So this is Debbie. I'd just like to weigh in on this a little bit. And I got in late. I'm sorry. I was still thinking it was at 1:30. But the TAC itself is a large group. And with the hybrid virtual, Tania is correct. It's 5 people present, 5 voting members present in the room, and the rest can be on virtually. It's not structured the same as the Board of County Commissioners. It's structured differently. Now, the past 2 meetings have been over in Dade City. Neither of those I was able to attend. The Newport Richey meetings are easier for me to attend. And I think the lack of a presence of a quorum has been the past 2 meetings. I think the meetings that we've had before these last 2, we did have a quorum. And I think this is an anomaly. And I think that we have to consider the conditions we're in right now. I know for me and even for Venkat, I'm sure, Venkat beat feet to get over there to make this meeting in person. But there's other things that are competing for our time. Now, with the meetings going to 6 a year next year, I do believe it's going to be easier to have a quorum. This year we've had 12 meetings. And the past couple of meetings have been a little bit more challenging. But I do think that next year, what months are you having meetings in, Tania? What's your schedule for TAC next year?
It starts in January, so it's January, March, May, so it's every other month after that. So January, March. Yeah.
I would suggest that at least 2 to 3 weeks prior to the meeting, you reach out to everyone to find out if they will be able to attend in person. It's hard when you wait so close to the meeting day to let us know that there's not a quorum. So if you're able to reach out 2 to 3 weeks earlier and get an indication of the 5 people that will be present in the meeting room, I think that you'll be able to get a quorum. Because people adjustments to schedules, 2 to 3 weeks ahead of the meeting, people can make adjustments to their schedules. So I would not assume that how it's been the past 2 meetings is the way that it will continue to be. So let's do that. Can you reach out to everybody a couple weeks? When's the next meeting in January?
The 11th?
The 11th. And I planned on doing that as soon as we got back from holiday break.
Okay.
Unfortunately, as the changing of the guard, so to speak, because it was Manny's last day on Friday, and I think as he was gathering his stuff, he hadn't had a chance to reach out. So I was scrambling, trying to get everything kind of done, and I didn't know if I could even pull off 2 people. So
yeah, so I knew. So kudos. So good for you, and I know that happened. And so again, Manny would reach out the week, the week prior to the meeting, but I think doing it a couple weeks early is a little bit better. And I think this was unusual too, because Manny's leaving and Tania had to pick up the pieces for this. So let's just see what happens in January and reach out to everybody the first of the year, Tania, and let everybody know who's going to be present for the meeting in Newport Richey.
This is Robert Borski from the school board. Real quickly, wanted to follow up on those comments. The location sometimes can make it difficult from either side, west side, east side. I think we need to maintain that schedule. Just kind of reviewing the requirements of this, in adherence with BOCC hybrid virtual requirements and TAC bylaws. Some meetings can be done totally virtual with 1 or 2 people in the room as board members. We are required to do, like you said, Kurt, part of our requirements. Is there a way to amend it so that we don't have to have a physical quorum in the room and only do it, where we have 1 or 2 members with everybody checking in online virtual? Just because it's easier sometimes virtually. I see Tina kind of shaking her head. I don't know if it's at my comments, but does that give it any thought?
we would have to amend the bylaws to reflect that.
Nia, I'm curious, how are the bylaws overriding Pasco County's rules? Because the MPO will be all here on this day coming up. Are they going to be half virtual and half here on Thursday?
No, the MPO will be 5 out of 9 board members will be in the room. Whatever your bylaws state is what we go by. Whatever the bylaws of the actual board or advisory, that's what goes.
So if they're different than Pasco County, that's okay.
Yeah, it's whatever your bylaws are for the committee or the board.
And that's just to make a quorum. The 5 members is to make a quorum. And that's what it's tied to.
And the question is that if we've got 5 members virtually, you still have a quorum, correct?
No, because you have to be 5 physically present to make the quorum.
That's part of the sunshine rules.
That's part of the sunshine ruling. That's per our legal department.
So Todd, out of curiosity, the utilities admin building's not set up for recording yet?
It's not that it's not set up for, it's set up just like this. So these are going to have to change.
Well, we could use Land O'Lakes. I just got that news right now, guys.
That room tends to be used a lot. So
I know. Yeah, it's hard to book in there.
Yes, it has a similar system.
So we could use the Land O'Lakes utilities building, but unfortunately it is used a lot, so we may not be able to get in there.
So another question is, and because I don't have my packet that had the dates in it, is this always like on the second Monday?
Yes, it's always on the second Monday.
So I think having, with folks, if they will put that into their calendars as a standing meeting, then they have a more, like I know this year, since I've been on it, it's alternated one month, second Monday, like today it's on the first Monday, you know, things like that. Or is it, I don't even know if today's the first Monday. Is it today's the second Monday, isn't it?
It's the second Monday.
Lord, it's December. But I know there's been some, you know, last minute changes, and if we are able to stick to the schedule as much as possible, that helps out with scheduling as well. And as Debbie was talking about earlier, a lot of times I was getting the agenda like on a Thursday for a Monday meeting. So it's, if we don't know that there's anything on the agenda as well, and I know sometimes it's hard to get all that information coming from that side of the table. If we at least have an agenda item that we know we're going to discuss, and then push out the documents later if we have to do that, that is also helpful.
Well, a lot of the sticking points are definitely going to, it's just changing. And on top of that, this year unfortunately when COVID hit, it changed how we were doing everything. And since we needed the rooms with the cameras, we had to change a lot of dates. And so I know I'm going to start looking at, we know where we're going to, where we want to do the schedule. The dates have been set. Now we have to, I think, do the rooms. So we could maybe look at that again. So hopefully we can just start getting, I think Debbie's right. It may be easier with having just 6 meetings. We can get that quorum. I think that'll be easier. So hopefully that'll work out. But I mean, I think there are a lot of, I still don't see we have over 25 members for TAC. And you were saying that there's a lot of things that need to be discussed and a lot of people aren't attending. So I think maybe we could also use this, the TAC, and kind of kill two birds with one stone. I know Terry is interim PDD, as interim MPO director. We've been talking about how we can reformat and refashion the TAC, and instead of it being just another CAC kind of, you know, meeting like the next CAC, make it more of something that's going to help the overall information getting out to the county. So maybe that's something we can look at.
Is our bylaws online? Are they on the MPO?
Yeah, they're on the MPO website. So we can look at that too. So anything else online?
Okay, any other comments? If not, I guess we'll go ahead and adjourn this meeting today.
Thanks all.
Thank you all for being here today.